Hey everybody, Don Thornton. It's time for what I usually hope to be as a daily video to you. Now, I can't always do a video every day, but I do try. And I know that when I say I try, that Yoda somewhere, way beyond the force is saying, there is no do or no try. There is only do. There is no try. Okay. By the way, I do sell audio recordings and video recordings of my Yoda impersonations. They're $5 per download. I also do Chewbacca, so that's also there too. So listen, I got a million side hustles to make extra money, so that's one of my best. Okay. Anyway, let's get back to real estate investing. All right. Uh, I don't often. In fact, this is probably the first time I've ever specifically done a video to lampoon and make fun of someone who wrote an article about real estate investing, and I do this strictly for educational purposes. I'm not going to mention the person's name. I'm not going to mention the person's publication. I'm just going to just give you the main point of his claptrap, and this is claptrap. Okay. For those of you who don't know, Don Thornton, real estate investor, 18 plus years in the business, over 1,500 successful transactions, a lot of them being short sales. That's why I'm called the short sale guy. And but there's one thing I know: it's how to find distressed properties and talk to distressed sellers. That is my one claim to fame, other than marrying the most beautiful woman in the world. But that may be a subjective opinion. I don't know. I'm still waiting for official recognition about that. But anyway, I digress again. All right. So this guy says that distressed properties represent particularly attractive investment opportunities. Not only can they offer wider profit margins than traditional deals, but they can also represent less competition. Ha! That's funny. This is because oftentimes investors are unsure how to actually find and invest in distressed properties. Well, that's a little true. I know a lot of people that can't find their butt from a hole in the ground. So that is true. But for those of you who are having trouble finding your butt, I do run trainings for free about, and my biggest core training is how to find distressed sellers. Okay, there are a number of ways to find these opportunities, but the following hacks are among the best. I find it ironic that he says the word hack, because this is a hack in a bad way. He is a hack. I'm sure he's just a well-meaning journalist. I don't mean to go after him personally, although I kind of do. Anyway, look for neglected properties. Really? Okay. Let me tell you something, folks. If I had a penny for every neglected property that I've ever seen in Florida that was not in distress, man, I would be retired and I wouldn't have to be talking to you people. That's a joke. I apologize. Seriously, that was a joke. Check the tax records. Okay. I guess he's talking about delinquent taxes. Yes, that is a valid strategy. However, there are nuances to it that make it not the best strategy, in my opinion. I've tried to do tax records, tax deed auctions, and so on and so forth. It's not that easy to do. In my opinion, I think it's a pass, but that's just me. Okay, find properties with delinquent mortgage payments. Yes, I made a living off of delinquent mortgage payments, but the problem is that if you, if you that little point there, that little bullet point, that encompasses a lot of stuff there. I mean, is he saying? Does that mean that you try to buy a 30, 90, or 30, 60, or 90-day late list? Because you can buy them, but they suck. Because 90% of them, if not more, they end up going back. They end up reinstating or catching up. So you waste a lot of time and money on skip traces or postage, however way you want to go after it. So now, if they file a foreclosure, that's a different story. Then absolutely go after those. So number 4, consider probate options. I considered them and I passed. Okay. Probate is a little difficult, and I will tell you why. Zillow has changed everything. Okay, it's changed everything. The you can most people have a unrealistic idea of how much their property cost or how much they can resell it for, and I would say that my ratio, my percentage of people telling me to F off and do unnatural sexual acts to myself and possibly, commit illegal acts with my mother, are from people who have an overinflated value for their house thanks to Zillow. So, if I had the ability to blur my screen right now live, I would do a big bird to Zillow for thank you for making my business much more difficult. All right. But my point is that probate, while you can find good deals, it is a animal on its own. And if you specialize in it, I think it's a good deal. I know an attorney here locally in South Florida, locally in Florida, that does very well with the probate options. He's an attorney, and he's got people that that he works with. He's got his own plan and his own, and I hardly recommend it. But if you're interested in learning more about that, ask me in the comments, and I'll give you his information. Okay, so next one is peruse REO and bank-owned property listings. Okay, there's three things wrong with that point. Number one is REO. REO sucks. Okay, the banks are not dealing on these things. You're wasting your time. Okay, all right. So bank-owned property listings, see above. So there's three things wrong with this thing. Like I said, the first one is REO. Don't go after REO, folks. It's not worth it. Second of all, bank-owned and REO are the same thing. I don't know why he decided to put those together. They're the same thing. And three, listings. If it's listed, you ain't gonna find a deal. All right, you cannot find a good deal in MLS right now, especially since we're in this artificial bubble where there's not as much inventory out there, and most of the time you have a feeding frenzy going on. I know this because I have an equity deal that I am selling in Pensacola, and I'm getting bombarded with people trying to get in and look at it because we gave them a deadline of when they should have to make their offer before we close it down, and it's just crazy. But hey, good for me. Drives the price up. But I'm just saying that you're not going to find really good deals in MLS. All right. Drive for dollars. All right. Full disclosure, I probably have made at least $1.5 million in over the years by doing driving for dollars. That is not an exaggeration. I've had really good success with that in its time and place. Right now, it's not worth it, in my opinion, to drive for dollars specifically to look for houses that are vacant. I'll tell you why. There's just not enough of them that are still owned by the owner. Okay, you're going to find most of them are going to be two categories. It's either going to be bank owned, which you don't want. We've already talked about that, or B, they are our landlords are between tenants. Okay, the tenant just moved out and they haven't rented it again, or they're going to come in, or I say three, maybe is some rehabs. Okay, but for the most part, there's very few that are out there that that the homeowner still owns it and you can still do something with it. So now in 6 months, 8 months from now, will I endorse driving for dollars? Yes. If these foreclosures, all the government foreclosures come back and people start moving out of their homes when their hope is destroyed and there's no more forbearances left, they can't do the loan mod, then yes, but not now. You're just wasting your gas and your time. That's just my opinion. Next one, check the MLS. Well, we already covered that. There are no good deals in the MLS. Stop. Search online. What the F is he talking about? Search online. I'm sorry, it's laughable. This, and I feel bad for the people that are on this one real estate investor specific website, and people, newbies, and people are going there looking for advice on what's the best way to find distressed sellers. Okay, like I said, the only thing is find properties with delinquent mortgage payments. And even then, that's even a little bit vague. Like I said, foreclosures is what you want. Everything else here is claptrap. I'm sorry, it's claptrap. It's not very good. Okay, so now that I got you all depressed and I shoveled dispersions on this poor journalist who I'm lampooning here. What do I say to those of you? Well, you know what, like the drill instructors say, in the Marine Corps or the Army, you have to break them down before you build them back up again. And so I need to just break down those illusions and just come back to you and say, look, if you want to learn how to find distressed properties, then work with a street investor like I am. I do teach people for free. You can just reach out to me in the description of this video. You have my contact information. I have a private Facebook group where I teach everybody for free. They get all my scripts. They get all my they get access to all of the training I have. And I would encourage you to come and come to the source of actual good training, and don't waste your time reading stupid articles. Okay. I hope you enjoyed this installment, and I look forward to the next one. And come, make sure you're here next time, because next time I will do my Darth Vader impression, and that's something you're not going to want to miss. Thanks.